Hey everybody, back again, and today is going to be a Q&A and a New Year's Eve video. Before I get into the Q&A, I just want to wish everybody a happy New Year's, and hopefully this new year that's coming up will be great for you. This year has been rough for a lot of people, with the election, with so many, Hollywood deaths and people passing away. It's been a rough year. A lot of emotion has been shown on all the social media and even just in the neighborhood and around in society. I just want to give one piece of advice if I can. Love one another every day. Show love, show compassion, show faith. Because without that, this world is going to just drift off. I've seen so much hate and just destruction this year that makes me want to just stay home and not do anything. I believe in my heart that this world is a good place and there's good people in it. And I just want everybody to know that if you give a hand up, that is showing that there is still humanity and love within this world. And on that note, I'm going to start with my Q&A. So, once again, I have asked my Facebook friends and family if they had any questions for me that they wanted me to answer on a Q&A video, and I would put it out on New Year's Eve, which is today. Happy New Year's. So I'm just going to get right into it, and I'm going to answer the questions that were asked. So Daniel Harmon, our good friend from the States, has asked me a few questions. The first one is my favorite car. Now, I'm a big fan of the Lamborghini Diablo. It's one of my favorite cars. But if I ever got one, it would have to be candy apple red. I love that color. For some reason, it just suits a car so well. If I couldn't have the red, I would go with a very pretty purple. As most people know, purple is my favorite color. My most and least favorite spice. My most favorite spice happens to be bacon salt. Ever since he sent the bacon salt to us, we have loved it and wish we could find more of it here. It's fantastic. Along with Famous Dave's chicken spice, it's fantastic. My least favorite spice, I'm not a big fan of cloves. Chinese 5 spice, I don't like the taste that it gives food. I don't know why. I just have a hard time eating things that has like cloves and 5 spice in it. So that's my answer for that one. What was the last meal I ate that was really good? That's a hard one. My husband's breaded pork chops. Mike's breaded pork chops were fantastic. They're the kind of pork chops that when you have the bone in, you will literally eat them till there's like nothing left on the bone. Fantastic. He makes them with cornflakes and mayonnaise, like Hellmann's mayo. So good. A fantastic thing to eat. Jim Bell has asked me what it's like living with Mike. Well, that's a hard one to answer because there's ups and downs in anybody's relationship. It doesn't really matter. I mean, we've been married since 2012, so this year it'll be going on 5 years we've been married. I love my husband. He keeps me on my feet. There's moments where I just want to scream at him, and there's moments where I just want to hold him and tell him how much I love him. For me, it's important in any relationship to have open communication, and we have that. So, living with Mike is fantastic. He helps me, like I've been sick a lot in the past year and a half, and actually in the last few years I've been sick. He's been there right by my side no matter what, so it's important for me that I have him in my life and that he's there for me, and that's fantastic. I love him. My friend Dylan has asked, what was it like working at the Marriott with me? Well, that was my favorite job. I absolutely miss working there. I wish I could work there again When I was working there at the very end, they closed our call center down that I was working at. I was a customer care and sales representative, I guess that's what you would call it, taking reservations for Marriott hotels. I missed that job. I so wish it was still there. But like I said, at the end, right before they were closing the center down, I was only working every other week on a Saturday because I was out also in school and receiving provincial training allowance. And for those of you who know what like provincial training allowance is you get a certain amount of money from the government while you're attending a program that could give you income to support so you didn't have to work and go to school. I was working every other Saturday making a certain amount of money because if you made over a certain amount, you would be cut off. So I was very happy that Marriott could accommodate with the fact that I was in school and I could only make a certain amount of money, without being deducted off of my provincial training allowance, which was right on. I mean, I miss the people. It's the camaraderie and the life of somewhere where you work that you enjoy and have a job that you can go to every day and say, you know what, I love my job. I never want to be anywhere else. That's really rare to find. So for me, it was important that I had that job, but now that I don't, it's going to be hard to find another one that would compare to that. My good friend and sister from another mister, Jen, has asked me, what is it like being the best maid of honor? Well, I wouldn't say I'm the best, but I'm definitely trying to help. When she asked me to be her maid of honor, I was absolutely privileged. I've been helping, doing a lot of things for the wedding. I've done the bouquets and centerpieces, the invitations, things like that. I'm also planning her bachelorette party. There's just little things here and there that I've done that I know that I could do and I could help out just to take a little bit and alleviate some stress off of her. She works a lot of hours, so for her to do that and try to plan the wedding and try to get everything done, it's a lot. So I try, trying to take away some of that stress from her to help out planning the wedding. And, like I said, it was an honor for her to ask me. Now, this next question comes from Stuart. I've gone back and forth trying to figure out how I'm going to talk about this. The subject is really, really touch and go for me. The pepper world is huge. There's a lot of companies out there that are fantastic. There's a lot of companies out there that aren't fantastic. There's a lot of people out there within the pepper community that are the most wonderful people you'd ever meet, and then there's others that aren't. I don't have an opinion either way, really. I haven't had first-hand chance to get into it. I've only tried a couple, hot sauces here and there. I mean, there's a few that I do like that I will definitely, recommend to anybody who asks me to try these. But as in regards to being, say, a bully or how do I explain it? A bully or being rude to somebody over a product or, or making of a hot sauce or that sort of thing. I don't condone it. I will not allow that into my life. That's my biggest thing is I will not allow that in. And coming from an outside point of view, whereas like my husband, those who know Crazy Mike D, he is a pepper person. He eats peppers. He eats hot sauce. He does hot sauce reviews. He has had his run-in with a couple, but it hasn't been overly, extreme. There's just a lot of drama in the pepper world with certain things, and I try to stay away from it. And that's all I can say about it is I try to stay away from it. Mike tries to stay away from it, and that's really all I can really say. My good friend Kathy from here in town where I live has asked what made us decide to move to Moose Jaw. For those of you who don't know, my husband and I live in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. This is our home. Well, many years ago, I think it was 2 years. Yeah, about 2 years after my husband and I got married, we talked about moving, and we wanted to get out of the city. Like, I'm a city girl. I was born in Edmonton, Alberta. My husband's from a small town here in Saskatchewan. So when I moved here, I moved to Saskatoon. That was my home. We both lived there, but it just got to a point where we were living in a bad neighborhood. The lady who owned the building that we lived in was a slumlord. It was not a nice environment to live in. I was getting sick all the time, and I just couldn't deal with it. So we had talked and talked and talked, and it never really happened to start with. We moved from Saskatoon back, I was in the hospital in Saskatoon, and then moved back to Alberta to live with my mom, and then ended up in the hospital there, and I was in the hospital for a good 6 months while I was in Alberta, and we had reapproached the subject of moving to Moose Jaw because we had heard nothing but good stories about it being a great community, a great living environment, very low-key, not, the hustle and bustle like there is in the big city. So we had decided, this is where we want to go, and my husband went before me. Mike came here before I did and found this home for us, and, this is my home. I love it here. I would never go anywhere else. The amount of love and support I have seen in this community has been fantastic. There's a great group of people on Facebook and community resources available within this community that I have relied on, which is, wonderful. Thank you, Kathy, for the wonderful question. I love it here. This is my home. This is my husband's home. I don't think I'll ever move anywhere else. Maybe to another place, but never out of the city. And finally, my last question comes from Rita. Our good friend Corey Hines, his mom asked, what's my favorite food? Well, I have many, many favorites, Rita. I'm a big lasagna person. I love lasagna. Even though cheese upsets my stomach most of the time, I love lasagna. Other than that, my favorite growing up was hamburger potato, and it had to have savory on it. Oh, so good. My mom and I call it gold because it's called Newfoundland savory, and you can't get it it doesn't taste anywhere close the same if you don't get it from Newfoundland. So, but other than that, my favorite foods, that's about it. I really like lasagna. Well, once again, this is the end of my Q&A video. I've answered all the questions. I'm going to do another one in the new year, probably closer to the end of January. I just want to again wish everybody a happy New Year's, and hopefully you guys are safe tonight when you go out drinking or if you're going to the bar. Remember, take a cab, leave your car keys at home, or rely on a designated driver. Do not get behind the wheel if you are drunk or if you've even had any hint of alcohol in your system. Have a wonderful and safe New Year's from my family to yours. Bye for now.